This is the first video for the Canadian Airsoft channel. What I have here today is a combat machine G&G CM16 Raider Shorty. It's the tan version, AEG non-blowback. Pretty much this video, and it's probably going to be in the title, that what I'm going to do here today is try to improve the appearance of it. I'm going to upgrade it externally and internally in this video. If you're looking at this gun and you don't like the fact that the front sight cannot be punched out, that triangle front sight is part of the two-piece outer barrel system. That whole front system will be coming off in this video. I won't show you what I'm doing internally, but internally I'm putting in a new cylinder head piston, and I'm shimming the gears. So let's get started. Now to remove the orange flash hider, there is a little bit of a not set screw, but a pin, and it's right in here. What I've done is I've drilled out two holes, grabbed a pair of pliers, and just pulled it out. There's no threading on it, so it's just a little pin that's held in. And there's like little two plastic clips beside it, so when you just drill there, you're kind of drilling out the clips. And then it just kind of threads off, and you have your 14mm counterclockwise thread. Now to remove the outer barrel itself, you need to remove this screw and this screw. There are two screws on the bottom and top of the handguard, and then you have the same thing on the back. You got one on the bottom and one on the top. Now once you've done that, there's a little bit of a plate in here. You just push that forward and you'll see two set screws, one on the left and one on the right side of the gun. And you can't really see them in there, but I've already taken them out, so I'll just kind of, you just kind of pull this out, and there's where the hole is for them. So I've already taken them out, that's what they'll be. So if you kind of just imagine that, they're right under there. And now, once you have all the screws out and this off, now once you have that off, you can just kind of grab the handguard and slide it off. So that's the handguard, but when I already took that out, I put the holes right back in. I mean, not the holes, the screws right back in, just so I wouldn't lose them. Not in the back though, because that is this piece right here. So then what this is it's kind of a tube just to help support the rail system, the handguard. For basically what I'm going to do, I'm not going to need this anymore, but I'll still keep it in case I want to put the gun back into stock. Alright. So now what you have here is this is a two-piece. This is one piece here that goes up into this, and you can kind of see the seam here. What you want to do is you got to kind of turn that off. It's really stiff. What I've already done though, which is kind of what you should do, is there's two set screws. There's holes for 4, but they put in 2. Or I got mine there and there. I don't know if you guys have yours there and there, or there and there, whatever combination you have. Alright, I got it. You just screw that off, and that comes off. And if you're looking to remove this this two-piece out of barrel system, you simply now just pull this out. So what this piece is it kind of grabs the lip here and forces it in here, and also holds this piece on, so your handguard stays on. Alright, so see, what I'm not going to need now is this, because this is where the front sight clips on here. You got your set screw holes. And what I have now, and I'm not going to need this anymore, I have a one-piece outer barrel. That, the one that we took out stock, if you include it as a one-piece, so if you include the front sight still screwed onto it, it would be a 9.7. This is an 8.7 inch outer barrel. So I'm just going to slide that in there. Alright, and now, which I'm not going to show you because I can't really do it right now, I have a new piece coming in that kind of replaces this, because this hole here is not big enough to go around here. So my new piece, that should be in probably by the end of today, and I just made this video because it doesn't really matter anyway. It'll go over this, threading onto there, stopping it from moving around. So that gets rid of that giant triangle front sight. So now I can put on a 551 hollow EoTech with Echo 1 lens protector. And now that we can have 551 on there, in case it dies, I have some Magpull flip-up sights. Alright, so that's the Magpull flip-up sight on top of my front rail guard. So this is it with the back flip-up sight. Alright, so now that I actually have that on there, now we can install the rail system. Again, I do not have the part to thread on there, so this isn't actually entirely done. So by the end of today, I should have that piece done. Alright, now you just gotta put the screws back in the top and the bottom. When I did have the outer barrel off, you guys will have an inner barrel that's going through that outer barrel, but because I was planning to do this, I already swapped my inner barrel, so I just removed it just for the sake of convenience when I was doing this. So you might want to do that as well, because it kind of gets in the way, and then when the outer barrel is removed, it's very, very loose. Kind of flops around inside your gun. Okay. Now, installing the 551. This thing is really simple and easy to put on. You just kind of put it on like that, and it just sits there, and you just tighten it. It just folds over. Then I like it to the point it doesn't really move very much. Alright, so what we have right now is this. No flash hider on there yet because I have a suppressor I'm going to put on. And it does come with a tan mag, but because I thought there was a little bit too much tan, I went ahead and bought one of these, which is a 140, about a 10 pack of these actually, the Elite Force 140 round mid caps. I think it looks a lot nicer with a black mag in there than a tan mag. Alright. The other thing I have to put on now is a Magpull forward assist angled foregrip. So just to go over again, so this is a Magpull foregrip, angled foregrip. This is a, I think it's a DNS or DSTS or something like that, outer barrel, Magpull flip-up sights, and I'm not sure what the company is for making the EoTech, but and then I have the Elite Force mid-capacity magazines. This is right now the foregrip on the rail system on this, with the Magpull flip-up sight and the Magpull angled sight, angled foregrip. So before I go ahead and finish, if you get this outer barrel system, there are two set screws, one down there and one up top. What they do is there's a little rubber piece inside of the barrel for some reason, and it squeezes down on the inner barrel. So before I finish, you'll see a barrel coming out through here, because I'm going to have to put the inner barrel back in and reset the set screws. So I'll be back in a second. So this is now what we have. There's that long inner barrel. A little piece that went up in here, that's this thing. This thing runs down and into this. There's a plate right here, this little black plate. There's a hole at the top. Do not put this back in, because what this does is it clips in. Where's the bend? Yeah, the bend's right here. It goes in this way, and it goes up and support. It doesn't actually support this. What it does is kind of just supports the front sight, because there's a hole in the back, so it kind of goes into this hole here. So if you try to put this back in thinking it's going to do anything, you're actually just going to have this silver bit sticking up through. I imagine you could if you wanted to, but you'd have to kind of cut it down a little bit, and it would look kind of weird with this silver dot up here. So you can do that if you want to, but I'm not going to do that. Now to finish this thing off, we have a G&G Suppressor. This isn't the nicer one that people think are nicer. I think this one's a nice one. And it's a little bit bulky, and it's got some dots and two little dents in it. Well, not dents, they're kind of like squished in rings here. And it's a one-way suppressor. It is a 14mm counterclockwise suppressor. This thing is so much nicer. It has your counterclockwise and your clockwise. So you can use this on multiple different guns over just one type of barrel type. Alright, so this is what you're essentially left with. I think it looks a lot nicer. I think the whole front here with this flip-up sight, the foregrip and suppressor, and the shorter outer barrel makes it look a little bit more aggressive. It makes it look more, a little bit nicer. The 5.51 is personally preference. You can, you don't even have to do that. If you don't do that, then there's really no need for these. And there's, I guess, preference-wise too. If you got a 5.51, you might want this in case it dies, the back sight, but you don't need to remove the front sight. That's personal preference on my hand. I didn't like the fact that I couldn't, that it got in the way, pretty much. Same with the magazine. You can clearly say that's preference. You don't definitely need that. Mid caps I find better because they don't rattle at all, really. I think personally the color is preference too. If you don't agree with me, but come on, this looks a lot nicer with a lot more black than tan. Well, not, it's kind of a 50-50 at this point. I'll do a shooting test later. The barrel is a Type 4 barrel. There is the cylinder head and piston head in there. There is the shimmed gears. And I think the only thing I have left to really do on this gun is that piece that I still don't have for in there, which really just holds that on at this point. And I think the next thing I'm getting is a nice pistol grip here, black Magpull one with it's got the finger, not finger slots, but I think you should know what I'm talking about if you've seen it. So yeah, that's kind of a beefed up CM16 Raider. Subscribe for more videos on this. I have a lot more guns that I'm going to start posting videos of, and basic upgrades. You can have your stock upgrades, you can have your aftermarket upgrades, or you can do kind of some cheap upgrades. Like I'm going to do a video on Teflon taping the cylinder head, which is not the best idea. I'll show you why it's wrong, but my buddy asked me to do it, so I'll make a video about that. So go ahead, subscribe, and like this video.